Coffee break.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Elation Professional, live from the Netherlands. We wanted to start 2026 off in a very positive light by bringing back our coffee break live stream. So some of you may know this from previous years. Some of you will be very new to it, but we hope to inspire, educate, and inform, hopefully, over the next weeks and months. Freddie, we're back.
It's pretty exciting. Alistair, good to have you here. My name is Frederik, and we're live here at the Elation Studios, sending to you from Kerkrade, Netherlands. And yeah, we brought our huge, big coffee mugs here because we've got plenty to talk about. So we've planned this session to be very exciting. So yeah, cheers. Here's to another one. And we would like to hear from you. Where are you located? What's your favorite coffee? Is it like cappuccino or macchiato or whatever you want? Just let us know where you are, what you're drinking right now. And of course, please let us know your questions. The chat is open and we're super happy to have you here. And a lot of people are watching and following. So good morning, good evening from wherever you're looking at.
So today we're going to look at the Rebel profile. So this started shipping in 2025, so it's very new. And it's part of the Rebel series. So the Rebel series is really giving you feature-packed units with IP65 technology, but very crucially, it's bringing in a very aggressive price structure and a good value for money. And that's really the key aspect of the Rebel series. So this is really good news for venues, for designers, and for rental companies as well. So budgets, of course, get continually squeezed and inventories need to be refreshed. So whether you're hanging new units in a venue for an installation, or whether you are wanting something fresh to put into your dry hire stock, or maybe even wanting to spec something for an outdoor music festival in the summer, we believe that the Rebel series matches the best technology with that aggressive pricing structure.
Exactly. So why did Elation create the Rebel series? And before we talk about the features, I want to briefly explain that situation. Over the past couple of years, Elation has listened very closely to rental companies, lighting designer, production companies and the teams around the world. And the message was very clear. People need fixtures that work every day, everywhere, simple, efficient, and of course, without any excuses. The industry has changed and productions become much faster, budgets are tighter, and fixtures travel more, they get rigged more often, and they are exposed to tougher environments than ever before. So Elation asked the simple question, why are professionals still forced to choose between performance, durability, and practicality? That's where Rebel comes in, and the Rebel series was developed to be a true modern workhorse. Not a luxury statement piece, not an over-engineered product, but a tool designed for the real-world use. In fact, the Rebel is the goal for the Rebel was very clear: deliver serious output, professional color tools, and full IP65 protection, while keeping the fixture very compact, efficient, and easy to deploy. So no unnecessary features are inside, no fragile components, and no compromises where it matters. Rebel is about to give designers and confidence and the rental companies or rental houses peace of mind, and of course a fast return of invest, knowing that wherever you are, outdoors, indoors, on a tour, or on a one-day fast setup situation, the fixture will perform simply, and it's really built to last or built to be reliable and not built for the brochures. So it is a fixture that simply performs. And to sum it all up in short, the Rebel was created to break away from bold, old thinking and deliver power, reliability, and flexibility in one fixture. And that's why we call it Rebel.
Indeed. And Freddie, this is really just the start of the Rebel series with this profile that we have today. I think we have some other exciting fixtures already shipping.
Exactly. They're hanging right behind us. We got the Rebel Wash 12 right behind me, so 12 LEDs in the front, and the Rebel Wash 4 right behind me. This is something we're talking about the next couple of weeks. as well. And then we come up with a few more exciting tools from the Rebel line. It's going to be a tilt bar, and it's going to be a beam fixture. And this is something for the future. So keep us on your favorite shortlist on your computer. And then we're going to guide you through the next very exciting coffee breaks with more Rebel features. But today it's about the Rebel profile.
So some of you may immediately be asking, why is the Rebel series and how does that align with the Proteus series? Because that's also an IP-rated lineup of beams, profiles, tilt bars, etc. Well, basically, the Proteus is a distinctly separate platform. It's a premium flagship range within Elation's portfolio. So it's really designed for permanent outdoor installations. And that's because it's adding very specific elements, very specific features. To name would be a marine coating for the outside and also a heating system. So this is really a very distinct separation from the Rebel series. The Rebel series is IP65, of course, but it's really, we would phrase it as it is for a temporary outdoor installation. So they really are very distinct series. So I think we can move on and start to discuss the profile itself. Freddie, what about the engine?
We got a 600 watt peak field engine. Peak field means we have a little hotspot in the middle of the LED, and that's thanks to our very unique optical system. It delivers a true and powerful beam because, yeah, you will later see the zoom range going from 3.5 to 51 degrees. But the peak field LED engine with a 600 watt power really helps to cut through longer distances, but even maintain the brightness while you fully open it to 51 degree zoom range.
So feel free to ask questions in the chat, by the way. We are here to answer those live. If we don't manage to get to it or we miss it or something happens, of course, you can add questions later to the post online. So let's talk about the physicality of the unit. So as you can see, you can probably already get an impression. It's quite a compact unit. We've really got the weight down as well. So this is actually under 30 kilograms.
Let me quickly take a measure for you. So I think it's just 66 centimeters, so super compact.
And if I move it to the side, you can actually really start to get an impression of how small the footprint is. So this is a really important thing for us.
So just the head measures only 24 centimeters, so super compact, and you can fit them easily in your flight case.
So one added benefit of that compact, lightweight nature is that we can move the fixture pretty quickly. So if I move it from the extremes of its travel, both on pan and tilt, you can really see it's quite zippy. It shifts quite quickly. And if I take it back to having a gobo in, we can talk about another feature that it has related to that. It is a continuous pan rotation, so continuous 360 pan rotation. So I can start that at a fairly slow to medium speed, or I can change direction and actually make that much quicker. And this is important because we really see the Rebel profile also being an aerial specialist. So if you have features like this combined with the IP nature, the brilliant optics, that peak field intensity, the colors, everything together, the zoom, it really becomes an aerial specialist.
And the movement is super silent. You didn't even hear it right now. It moves fast, even though it is IP65 housing, so we really achieved a great versatility and a fast-acting moving head here. And of course, it can rotate super smooth and super slow as well, but that's something for you to try at home or at your offices later on.
So with the unit facing front, let's talk about the beam characteristics. So we've got an impressive zoom on the profile, so we can go down to 3.5 degrees, which, Freddie, I think you'll agree, in this class of fixture is pretty tight.
Exactly. That allows you really to cut through the longer or even longer distances. And you see now the peak field engine comes into play, which allows you to throw on longer distances without using any other fixtures right now. So that versatile fixture can even help you where beam situations are needed.
But of course, we can go very wide as well. So tilting the fixture up a little bit, we can go up to 51 degrees. So that's quite an impressive zoom range that we're packed into the fixture. If you want a smaller beam, of course, you can always use an iris. So that can be put in your beam. There's various pulse effects for opening and closing as well. Moving on to colors. So of course, we have an impressive color array. So we've got, of course, cyan, magenta, and yellow color mixing.
Yeah, and it snaps pretty fast because our CMY color mixing system is super fast. So it allows you even to work with color snaps and all these kind of effects you want.
Indeed. We also have a variable CTO. So if I put that in on a 5-second fade, it'll take us from 6,500 Kelvin variably down to 2,400 Kelvin. And moving on to the color wheel. Now, color wheels are usually not the first exciting thing you think about when you come to an automated fixture, but actually in the Rebel profile, I think it's actually a really well-populated color wheel. So we actually give you really nice primaries, so a red, green, and blue. We also give you that classic quad color, which we're going to see a little bit later on. And also we give you 2 high CRI filters. So the base CRI is 70, but with these 2 filters, you can make it 80 or 90.
And now talking about a filter, it remains a filter which goes in front of the LED. But in 2 weeks' time from now, we're going to show you in another Coffee Break episode the Paragon. And Paragon is our new flagship series where there is no high CRI filter needed anymore because we have an LED engine which does both at the same time, high CRI or high output. So that's like a very unique and new thing in our industry, but that's a little spoiler alert for in 2 weeks' time. Sorry for that one. But now we keep on focusing back on the Rebel profile today.
Okay, let's put the unit on the back and maybe look at some gobos. So the first gobo wheel is rotating, so we have 7 positions, so you can see that variably moving slow to fast. Some of the patterns will be instantly recognizable to some of you. If we move on to the second static wheel, again, we can see some patterns we recognize. So yeah, you've got a total of 15 gobos in the fixture. Moving on to animation, so we can have a look at the animation wheel. So here it is in the beam, moving at almost its slowest speed, so it's incredibly subtle. Of course, you can layer this with a gobo or something to really get some nice textures going on with your fixture. Or I can reverse the direction and make it a lot quicker.
And you can see the very smooth and soft movement here of that animation wheel. Of course, that also goes for all the other motors inside, so we really have 2 different settings inside the fixture, a fast setting or an even smoother setting, and all controlled by DMX. But those little details you'll find certainly when we do a demo with you or with your local partner. So again, if you're interested to taking a look at this fixture in detail or to experience the fixture and compare it to other fixtures on the market, we're always happy to send out a fixture, or your local partner, your local distributor will have a fixture in their demo room or in their demo park. So please contact us or your local distributor to ask for a demo of the Rebel profile.
So next up, we can move on to look at frost. So we have 2 frosts inside the unit. So the first one of those would be a light frost. So for example, I've just put in a gobo. So this would be for diffusing that gobo. So I can activate the light frost. And that really just subtly gives you some extra texture as well as using the frost. But the second frost is actually a wash frost. So when I put that in, you will really see the beam becoming a dedicated wash fixture.
And of course, the same goes for the projection, but we did it on purpose to face it towards the camera so you can see how beautiful the frost will soften all the edges, and we thought it looks much better when we do it straight towards the camera.
Indeed. Okay, next we can put the fixture back again and look at the framing system. So of course, being a profile, you would expect us to have a really accurate framing system on board. So of course, here we can see all 4 flags individually can black out the beam.
And again, this is with all, or that goes for all the Elation fixtures. Our framing shutter system always closes fully. So each of the 4 blades can close from 0 to 100%. So it doesn't stop like in the middle or at 70% or somewhere else. No, all our blades and all the Elation fixtures have a full blackout. And that's very useful when you're projecting on certain objects or when you're programming, makes your life much easier. And yeah, so that's something you should really consider when you look at some fixtures. Are the framing shutters closing or having a full blackout?
And for this last blade, we can actually bring it in a lot slower. So over 3 seconds, you can actually really see how that moves. Very accurate, very calm, no jittery, no twitching. So yeah, really nice. And if we move the fixture back to the front again, now we can put in all 4 blades at the same time to create a nice letterbox effect. And then we can actually show you the indexing. So you have plus and minus 60. So you really have a full 120 degrees of travel really to index your framing system.
Yeah, allows you even to use the framing system as an aerial effect when you use it like super sharp, and it stays, yeah,
Exactly.
makes it very interesting for designers and aerial effects as well.
Exactly. So next thing to show you is the prisms. So we have 2 prisms on board. So we're going to face into the camera and just show you some effects you can do with those, of course. So let's add in a gobo. And on top of that gobo, I want to add the first prism, which is a 4-facet circular. So now you can really see some effects starting to build. Of course, we can add in colors to that as well, really. And this is where the quad color will come in quite useful in just a second. So if I come back and then add in a different gobo, and now we can add in the second prism, which is a 6-facet linear. There we go. And finally, we can bring in that quad color.
So the quad color is basically on the color wheel, a little slot where you have a dichroic glass with 4 colors on it, and that allows you to do these very beautiful aerial effects. So this is something which gives every situation or every setup a very nice look, and you can get this endless options here with the different gobos, with the zoom range, and of course with all the filters and the other features we have built in here. So very nice aerial effects are possible with this setup.
Indeed, and that is most of the physical features within the head that we've shown. So feel free to ask any questions. I'm not seeing any coming in on my side so far, but we can move on and discuss the things that are actually under the hood. So of course, whether it be in the menu system or the DMX control from the console, we give you various things you can control. So for example, LED refresh rates. So those can be changed live. And we actually have been using that ourselves in this room as part of this stream. So in the past few days, we're shooting on iPhone. So very occasionally, we've had to take away a flicker on a unit behind us by just changing that refresh rate live. Very practical. We also have fan modes. So fan modes can help with very high temperature environments or high humidity environments, but probably more so to actually change the fan mode to allow the unit to blend into its surroundings or its environment a little more.
Exactly. When you work, for example, in a theater and you need it to be very silent at a certain situation, just dial in by DMX the mute mode, then all the fans will shut off. Or you can even use the studio mode, then it will just slower the fan speed and it becomes very silent with an instant. And that's very useful in noise-sensitive situations. And that is all possible just by selecting on via DMX the settings, and then you're good to go. And it really remains super silent. When it's on slow mode or even in mute mode, well, then there's no ventilation at all.
And the final thing to talk about really is the dimming modes, dimming curves, and related timings to that. So we have various things available to suit the environment the fixture is being used in, different curves, different modes, whether it's theater or stage, architectural, TV, things like that. So we can actually look at the dimming right now. Let's go to the back. Back to the front even. And here I can do a 10-second fade now using the S curve. So this is the default curve, and it's probably one of the most popular ones. So a 10-second fade starting now. So you should be, sorry. I was going to say you should be able to see that dimming really slowly, elegantly, and smoothly.
Yeah, as you can see, we're live here, and we're so excited about the fixture that we don't want to forget any of the little details. And even when we set the fixture to a higher LED refresh rate, it can go to up to 25,000 hertz, so it's even suitable for high-speed camera recording. The dimming still remains super soft and super smooth. And with these different dimming curves and all the settings, you're even able to create your own dimming curve.
Indeed, and finally, we can now come up again over 10 seconds, but this time I only want to take it to 40% because we want to really want to show you how it behaves at that lower end. So really, you're going to see it coming in really nice and gradually, really nice dimming. Our engineers work very hard to with the engines to make the dimming look as beautiful as possible.
And talking about dimming curves, we think it's worth to do a coffee break about dimming because we have so many different fixtures. Some fixtures have 5-color LED engines where the dimming is super sophisticated, but even here in a Rebel profile where you have a single source LED, the dimming has so many possibilities. And to give you the best of the dimming and what's possible with all our fixtures, with all the settings. We'll be coming in the future with a coffee break just about the dimming to give you the right tools, how to make your dimming really perfect, especially in the last 10% where dimming is often quite an issue, but in our fixtures you can be sure that you get like the best out of the low end of the dimming, and that's going to be another coffee break in the future.
Indeed. Well, that's almost us wrapped up for today. That was a pretty tidy 20 minutes. I'm not seeing any questions coming in, but like I said earlier, please continue to post them, and we will get back to you online later, or of course reach out to your Elation sales partner or representative as well, including circling right back to what we said at the beginning. That value for money in mind with the Rebel series, that aggressive pricing structure, we encourage you to reach out to your sales representative to find out just what that really means.
Exactly, and we even mentioned in the beginning that we put a focus on not over-engineering and not to put too many features on the Rebel profile, but there's a few things which I wanted to highlight before we come to an end, and it's the metal plate which you find on this position of the head and on the other side of the head. And I'm going to show you this little metal plate. This is what it looks like. You have two pieces of them. They're empty, but you're able to engrave your own logo, your own company logo, or your name, or whatever you want to engrave there, or even a serial number, whatever you want, you can engrave here on that metal plate, and it comes with a fixture. And then you just go here, take these two screws and mount it to the head, and then your fixture becomes branded with your own logo, your name, or whatever you want to print on that metal plate here. And last but not least, we have another nice feature which I want to talk about, and that is the backlit display. The backlit touch buttons here. You can't see it, or it's hard to see on camera, but just imagine you are in a very dark environment and you want to change some settings. Then we have now added a little feature, and these are the backlight touch buttons, or the keys here on your display PCB. If you don't want to touch the display PCB, you can still use your phone, because now on your phone, please go to the App Store. There is an app called Elation, and it has the Elation logo on it. And when you install that to your phone, you're able to address and to change some settings on most of the new Elation fixtures when they have this NFC logo, which you can see here. And when you use the app, type in a certain DMX address which you want to set your fixture to, and you hold your phone to the NFC logo, which by the way works also when the fixture is not powered up, and that's a great feature. You just address your fixture inside the flight case. So you don't need to power it up. Just take your phone, put the address on your phone, and hold it to the fixture, and automatically it will have the address which you need. Super handy and super useful when you are on tour, or when it must be a super fast changeover during the setups and so on, or when you want to get the fixture out of the door much faster, and you want to reset all the DMX addresses to 001. Take your phone, hold it for a few seconds to the fixture, and you're good to go. And the other way around, you can also use this app to read out information from the fixtures. You can read out certain values like the software version and so on. And we're developing and continuing the development on the app to make it even more versatile and useful for you, and to make your life a little bit faster. So the fixture is really made for a fast return of investment, to make your life easier and faster when you are on tour, when you're renting out these fixtures, etc. That's it for the little features, and we're looking forward to add more of those very useful features in the future.
Indeed. So that about wraps us up for today. Join us again in 2 weeks. Like Freddie says, we're going to look at the Paragon series. So we're quite excited about that one, because I think we were going to spend less time looking at actual features and more about the actual real innovations, about why the Paragon series exists and why we think it's the industry leader in terms of automated lighting heads. So thanks to everyone for watching, and thanks to all our staff internally as well, of course, who came together to make this happen. And final words to you, Freddie?
Yeah, thank you so much, especially to all the colleagues and the staff who helped to make this episode number 2 of the Coffee Break. The first episode a couple of years ago, we had 24, how you call that, shows, 24 episodes of the first show, and then now we're on the second, or the second episode with the first show today, and we're super excited for the future. To wrap it all up, the Rebel is not just about over-engineering or adding just features. It is about delivering what really matters. So power when you need it, reliability when it counts, and flexibility wherever the show takes you. This is the Rebel profile, and it's built to work, built to last, and built to perform. And we're super happy to hear from you. What you think about the Rebel, what your questions are, and even when you later on have some questions, please feel free to contact and reach out to us. And we're looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time with the new Paragon flagship series. Take care, have a good one, and see you soon.
Bye, guys.